Good morning. I'm Amy Wilson, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Paducah, Kentucky. And today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, and it's the day that the new catalog goes live to customers. So I am joining you live this morning to record a video of a catalog tour so that I can point out things in the catalog that maybe you missed. Every time I look at it, I see new things. And today is the first day that I can show you the inside of the catalog online. So let's go on and get started. Hopefully this will be an easy transition to my work surface and the new catalog pages. So we're going to explore the pages of the catalog, and then I will share important information with you about ordering from the catalog. And I'm going to share over 20 samples of products made with, products and projects made with things from the catalog. And I'm going to adjust my lighting just a little bit and see if that's helpful at all. Maybe? What do you think? I think I'll go on from here. Okay. Again, Amy Wilson. This is a May-August 2026 catalog, and this will be the only catalog that you'll have at a time during the Stampin' Up year. So we're going to do 3 of these a year, and they will each be available for 4 months at a time. So instead of having an annual catalog and then having a mini catalog here and a mini catalog there, it's kind of confusing and can be overwhelming for a new customer specifically, a new stamper. So we have the one catalog going forward, and it has the majority of our product offering. However, there are a lot of things available in our online exclusive category of products. When you look online, we have a memory keeping section in our online store that has a lot of product as well. There's the last chance list in our kits collection. So not everything that we offer is within the pages of a printed catalog, and there are many reasons behind that. It allows us to be a little more flexible in our product offering. It allows us to release product more often, which is exciting. It allows us to meet trends in the industry because we're working on a print publication 18 months out. So, we're going to start with page 4, and I'm not going to hit every page in the catalog, but I am going to hit a lot of them because I want you to be able to use this as a tool for the next 4 months. So on page 4, if you're following along in your catalog, is a note from our CEO, Sarah Douglas. Sarah is the daughter of our co-founder, Shelley Gardner, and has been working at Stampin' Up, I think, since she was 12. The table of contents is also on page 4, and I love the way the table of contents is divided this time. It's divided into ways to create, so you have step-by-step, quick and easy, and then the creativity your way. And we'll talk more about that as we go through and explore those pages. It also has ways to shop. This table of contents is going to be so important to you when you're looking for paper or when you're looking for dies. You can go straight to the pages where those are housed in this catalog. I also like to point out the icons that are here at the bottom. The little N for new, it's kind of pink, maybe red. That's an indicator that the product that you're seeing in the catalog is a new product. Also, the English and French versions of the product, that's primarily stamp sets. And then when you have a QR code, you can scan that on your phone camera or your device and get more information about the product that you're seeing. And then these are new, Suite and Bundle. So when you see the Suite icon on a product, that means that that product coordinates with or is available in a Suite collection on pages 16 through 35. So if you see a bundle icon on a product, that means that product is part of a bundle, and those can be seen together on pages 36 and through 42. And when you purchase the suite or the bundle, there is a little bit of a discount. So it is encouraging to purchase those products together with a bundle or suite icon. Sorry, item number, so that you get that discount. If you purchase them individually, you don't get the discount on them. And there's 3 icons that are not on here that I'll point out as we progress through our tour. But one is save 10%, and that is what I was talking about with bundled product when you use that particular item number. The other is the $1 Million Sales Achiever. We have 2 stamp sets that are in this catalog that were created by ladies who have sold $1 million in stamp seeking paper. And then the impressions dies. That's also new, and we'll talk about that as we go through, but I can show you that icon as well. Then pages 5, 6, and 7, I believe, are Stampin' Snippets. So a little bit more about the company and our values and what we're about. So on page 5, I think the most important piece on this is that you can earn 10% back in rewards for every order that you place that's $20 or more. And that can be used on your very next order, or they can be saved for up to a year. So let's say you earn Stampin' Rewards on the order that you place today. Those Stampin' Rewards, unlike Kohl's Cash, won't expire until May 31st, 2027. So you can save up for a bigger purchase that way. Then on page 6, I think the most important thing to point out on this page is Product of the Month. Product of the Month can be yours for $5 with a $75 or more order while supplies last. So in May, I don't have that Product of the Month yet because I earned it just like you'll earn it with your purchases in May. But it's called Berry Botanical Vellum 12x12 Specialty Designer Series Paper. That's a mouthful. You can see that in my online store and just search Product of the Month and it will come up. The other Product of the Month that's still available is the Product of the Month from April. And I earned this, I got to purchase it for $5 with a qualifying $75 order, and it's called Eyelet Bloom Dies. So it is just one die, it's big. So this is my hand, so it's as big as my hand, bigger than a card front, and it is absolutely detailed and beautiful. So if you cut it full card front size, or full size, it's bigger than a card front. So this is just the basic die cut. Let's see if you can see all of that texture in there. But the thing that to remember about that is you can cut out around it. It's easily to cut out around, and then you can flip these little petals up so that your die cut image has dimension. So something fun to do with your Product of the Month. And that one's called Eyelet Blooms. If you didn't place an order that qualified for a Product of the Month in April and you'd like to get that one instead of the Berry Botanical Vellum paper in May, you can do that. On page 7, the most important thing to point out on page 7, I think, is Paper Pumpkin. That is our monthly all-inclusive kit that is mailed directly to your home. It's $29 a month plus tax, and shipping is included in that. You usually make 8 or 9 projects with the Paper Pumpkin kit, and you know in advance whether it's going to be a card kit, which is the majority of them, or if it's going to be maybe treat packaging. And then also on this page is Shelly Gardner. She's our co-founder and board chair, and a couple of products that she recommends in her little note there. So I'm going to take a break before we go into the step-by-step content, and I'm going to show you the new in colors. And I want to do that because you're going to see them throughout the catalog tour, and I want you to be aware of what they are. This one is called Barely Blush, and it is a lovely light pink. And then Crisp Cantaloupe is next, Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, and Hydrangea Hue. So if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, drop me a comment to let me know right offhand which you think might be your favorite new in color. Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, which is a returning in color, Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, or Hydrangea Hue. Okay, so we're going to see a lot of these, and I'll even describe my in color club later in the video presentation. So those are our in colors, and we're going to keep on going with step-by-step crafting. So step-by-step crafting can be choreographed in a couple of different ways. At the top of the page, we have step-by-step with our kits collection. So our all-inclusive kits collection can be found online. There's 2 new kits every month, and that's why we don't put them in a printed catalog. Some of the kits are project kits and some of the kits are card kits. Some of the card kits include a stamp set and ink, and others have pre-printed sentiments in English, French, German, and Dutch. So in May, there are 2 new kits that are available, and I typically would not have these kits this early in the month, but I got to attend a Stampin' Up! Sponsored event where we were allowed to see new product. So thank you to Elizabeth Belleville for coming to Paducah and hosting a demonstrator only event in April. So this is one of the May kit collection kits. This is called Serene Scenes, and it makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, and it does have a stamp set with it. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I haven't done this kit yet, shame on me, right? But I'm going to show you these gorgeous watercolor images. Isn't that pretty? So that's one of the cards. There's another, love the sunset. And then a third. You really can't grasp the beauty of this paper. It has a name, and I can't remember the name of it. Goodness, I wish I could. All of the envelopes are printed. Beautiful cloud scene there. It does have a photopolymer stamp set. These are the sentiments. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. Congratulations. Just a note. You know how much you're appreciated. That one was upside down. Happy Father's Day. These would be great Father's Day cards. Okay. And the ink spot is gray granite. And when you purchase one of our kits collection kits, it comes with everything you need. So you have scissors and adhesive as well. And there are dimensionals in here. So everything you need is right in this box. So it's great for crafting on the go. Maybe meet a friend at a coffee shop and share a kit. The other kit that was released in May or today is Pretty Party, and this is birthday themed. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, and this one has gorgeous foil, gold foil on both sides, and these cards are printed on both sides. Isn't that fun? If you really want to maximize your kit collection, you can cut these card bases in half and mount them on designer series paper from your stash. So there's another one, and then this one orients this way. Okay, and then the envelope has gold foil on it as well. Look at the little bling that's in here. That'll be fun. And then the stamp set is photopolymer. Birthday wishes, congratulations, it's time to celebrate, and the little balloons. Okay, so that is the Pretty Party kit that was released today. So if you're interested in that, each of those stamping kits are $25. And then you have tax and shipping on that when you make your purchase. Scrapbooking workshop kits are featured. Ooh, look, parts and pieces. Scrapbooking workshop kits are featured at the bottom of the page. And there are 3 new scrapbooking workshop kits in the pages of this catalog. And I'll point those out as we make our way through the tour. But there are currently 10 others under the memory keeping tab in my online store. So make sure that you're shopping both with the catalog and online to see our full product offering. Okay, we're going to skip on over to page 11. This is in the quick and easy category of how to create, and you can get some great inspiration here with where to get started. When someone hands you this catalog, it can be quite overwhelming. So pages 11 through 13 are quick and easy options and great recommendations if you're just getting started. Then on page 13, also quick and easy, and I'm going to show you a couple of products from this page. Pictured later in the catalog as well as Exciting Times bundle, as well as the projects featured with it. So this is the stamp set, and it has the outline images. It coordinates with this punch. With the rounded corner edges and some great sentiments there. You Did It is generic enough that it can be used for so many different things. So that's called Exciting Times. And not only is our catalog a way to see product that I sell, it's also an idea book. So at Elizabeth Belleville's Demonstrator Only event, we duplicated the card that was here on page 13 using the new designer series paper that I'll show you later, and the sentiment thank you. And that came from the Exciting Times stamp set. Okay. So I will move right along. Where are we going to go next? Let's see. Oh, I'm also going to point out the templates at the bottom. And you can scan the QR code for more templates on our website. But if you're stuck with a design, sometimes the design phase can be hard. But there are templates here for scrapbooking layouts as well as for cards. And there are more that you can see online. So let's go on to page 14. And Creativity Your Way is all the bells and whistles, okay? This is where we like to shop. On page 15, it showcases we have 7 all new suites of product in the next few pages. So I'm going to show you those. We'll touch on each suite just because I want to point out things that you might miss about that suite. And then if I have product created with it, then I'm going to share that with you as well. And look, I've already skipped a step. So I'm going to go back again. I'm going to go back to this page and back to Exciting Times bundle. How could I skip the cards that I'm going to create in class this week? So if you're not in my card class this week, let me know if you're interested. This is a card created with the Exciting Times bundle and the new designer series paper. And I'll show you that paper in detail in a bit. This is basically the same card, but all of our pattern paper is double-sided. So the dots that are smaller is on one side of the piece of paper, and the dots that are larger is on the other side. So we're going to create this happy birthday card in my card class. That's today and tomorrow. I have multiple times available if you're interested and live in the Paducah area. This card sketch was inspired by Mary Fish. I don't know if you follow Mary Fish and Stampin' Pretty or not, but that card design was inspired by Mary. So now let's skip over to page 15 and let's talk about the 7 new suite collections. So a suite collection includes everything that's pictured on the page with that suite, and you can use one item number to purchase all the products on that page. So as we progress through here, we'll talk about that. Pages 16 through 19 focus specifically on the Bloom Boutique. Excuse me. And that suite collection can be purchased with this item number up here in the top left corner. But let's point out some things about the suite collection. So there are 2 bundles in the suite collection. So that's one of our mega suites. 2 bundles means 2 stamp sets and 2 sets of dies that coordinate with each other. Also on this page, you can see that there are page numbers that coordinate with the stamp set and dies, and you can go to those page numbers perhaps to see those stamp sets a little bit bigger. So they say page 38, so let's flip over to page 38. And we're going to see those stamp sets just a little bit bigger. And there's that suite icon so that we can know that those coordinate with a suite. And then we can also see this stamp set's pictured on page 46 and the dies are pictured on page 60. So let's flip over there. Let's look at page 46 for the stamp set. And yet again, pictured a little bit larger. I love the stamp set area so that you can see your images a little bit bigger. And then page 60 is where they said to look for the dies. And there's the dies that are pictured in that suite. You can tell they're part of a bundle. You can tell they're part of a suite because of those icons. So you're going to see product in this catalog. It may seem repetitive, or it may actually jump off the page for you in a later page instead of here in the suite section. So another thing that I want to point out while we're here is the in color butterflies. They are super cute. And then I want to show you, let me find the name, the Bloom Boutique Designer Series paper. Now, I've already used this paper in a class, so I don't have the full paper product offering, all the sheets, but these have the gold foil on one side, and I know you can see that, catch the light. So here's 5 of the 6 designs, and then on the back side, is not gold foil. So all of our in colors are featured in this pack of paper. So I think that's a fun thing. And speaking of all of our in colors, the coordinating colors for a suite are all listed to the right. So you'll have your suite parts and pieces here, your all the coordinating colors here, as well as product that is available, projects that have been made with that. With these colors, that gives you the opportunity to purchase coordinating cardstock so that you have what you need on hand for your projects. Let me know if you have questions. I can see the comments, so we can talk about questions as we go. So this card was created, oh goodness, let me see if I can find her name. Connie Ingram created this card, and it's a rocker card. And Connie used the Scalloped Blooms bundle as well as the Designer Series paper, and then there's another little bundle that she's used there. But this card will sit up, and then it rocks back and forth. So that was created with the scallop dies. Isn't that pretty? I participate in a card swap so that you can not be exposed simply to my square, flat, monochromatic Stampin' Style. So thank you so much for swapping with me, Connie. Then we're going to flip over to pages 18 and 19. And when one of our suite collections has coordinating memory keeping product, they will be pictured on the 2 pages following the suite. So in this case, pages 18 and 19 show the memory keeping product. So I'm going to point out that the Blooms Boutique Designer Series paper that I just showed you, if you purchase it in the scrapbooking area of the catalog or website, it is going to have a sticker sheet with it. So that gives you even more opportunity to use that in your memory keeping. Also, the coordinating 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock. So this is a great way to get a little sampling of two-tone cardstock. So you can buy each of our individual colors, I think there's 15 of them, in individual packs. So it's a pack of 12 for $10. If you don't need 12 sheets of Barely Blush, then perhaps you might be interested in purchasing the combo pack here. Also $12. You can look online when you order to see how many sheets are in the pack. There might be a white willow in there as well because you've got the 5 in colors. So the next thing I want to point out is the fact that there's a different stamp set here on this page. So this was called the Heirloom Boutique Bundle. You can see the Save 10% icon that I felt was missing from the icon index on the front in the index. But that's a completely different bundle from the suite. So there are actually 3 bundles that coordinate with this suite collection. So I'm going to pull in a card made by Amy Wilcox. And Amy created this card with this stamp set. And look how she's created this attachment. And she's stamped Hello Friend on the back. And then it opens to Have a Fabulous Day. And she's used the in colors as well. As the paper, but I love how this goes back together. It's kind of like a belly band, but not really. Okay, so I can't do it on camera. Trust me, it's easy. Okay, so I'm determined to put it back together. There we go. Nope. Here, we can put it together like this. If I can't put it together the other way. All right. So Amy used the images in the suite collection here, the Heirloom Boutiques bundle. So that one could easily go overlooked. In fact, I didn't see it the first time through. So this is the first of the 3 scrapbooking workshop kits that is pictured in this catalog on page 19. You can purchase this for $38. You get everything that you need to make 3 2-page layouts, and then you have coordinating product as well if you're interested in that. So that is the memory keeping option that goes with the Heirloom Boutique. And then we're going to flip over to page 20 to the Waterside Retreat. And I'll point out a few things. I'm going to point out the loose anchor trinkets. You get a whole little bucket of those. And this is a card that we also made at the retreat that I got to attend in April. It uses the Waterside Retreat Designer Series paper, as well as the trinkets. And I wanted to bring in a dime so that you can kind of tell what size those trinkets are. Right at the size of a dime. Okay. And then this used product that was in, or the stamp set that was in the April Paper Pumpkin Kit. And the card was designed by my fellow demonstrator, Emily Kimmy. So I wanted you to know what size the anchored trinkets are. So this suite of product has one bundle as well as designer series paper and an embellishment, and it coordinates with the April Paper Pumpkin Kit. If that is a kit that you have, or if you're a subscriber, you can purchase a refill on that one. Okay, so we're going to flip over. Nope, I have more samples of this one. Betty was the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that created this card using the suite of product. It makes me want to relax, doesn't it? Look like she's got a good book and a cup of coffee. Here's to a new chapter. Oh, I love that. Is that in here? It is. Here's to a new chapter. I didn't see that sentiment. See, I'm seeing things too. So things that I don't want you to miss. That's what I'm showing you today. This card was created by Kelly. And I love the way Kelly cut a hole in the front of the card, and then you can see through to the sentiment on the inside. That way you have something on the inside of your card. Love, love, love the way she did that. Love her color scheme too. And then she tore the cardstock here at the bottom. Thank you for swapping with me, Kelly. Okay, we're going to flip on over to page 22, and this is the Valley in Bloom suite. I was absolutely shocked that I did not get a card sample using this suite of product. However, I am going to point out the floral spray embossing folder. I did get a fabulous card using that embossing folder. So it's one of our larger embossing folders. So this is my hand. So it's way bigger than my hand. 6 inches. It fits through the large embossing machine. And then this card was created by one of my team members, Janet Kincaid. And Janet used the embossing folder as well as ink to add interest to that. And then she stamped on the inside as well. May your days be filled with love and happiness. So thank you so much for sharing with me, Janet. She also used this white paper here, and I'll point that out later in the catalog, but that's something that would easily be missed. White paper is hard to picture in a catalog, right? Okay, so that is the Valley in Bloom suite of product. Do you love Lily of the Valley? Isn't that sweet? I love that card. I have to buy that just to duplicate that card. Next is pages 24 and 25 is the memory keeping product that coordinates with the Valley in Bloom suite. So another scrapbooking workshop, that's 2 of the 3, and coordinating products. This has the sticker sheet that goes with the designer series paper, a sampling of 2-tone cardstock, as well as an all-new stamp set that you don't want to pass up. Then page 26 is the Scenic Coast suite of product, and the paper and dies really steal the show in this suite. So I'm going to point out the sunset vellum on this because that would easily be overlooked. And then I'll show you a sample created with this. This is Jan Roderen. Jan created a bookbinding card that flips up instead of sideways, and I love the dies. So this one is the sailboat die, which you can use in its entirety, or you can break it apart and just use the sailboat, and then the water line separately if you want. It's also a lighthouse die that comes with this. Okay. Next is page 28 and the Beautiful Ordinary Life Suite. And if you read Shelley Gardner's snippet back on page 7, I believe, this is one of her favorite suites of product in the catalog. So I'm going to point out the Bordered in Beauty bundle, stamps that create a border, as well as dies that create a border. So pretty. And then the floral accents, I just noticed on the inventory status report, they're already sold out. So they will be back in stock, but they're just not orderable right now. So this has beautiful pastel colors as well as some black and white imagery. And I do have a sample created with that. Actually, I have a couple. So this card is created by Angela Waters, and she's a fellow demonstrator down in Nashville, Tennessee. I love how she tore the paper. So these are just pieces of the paper that come in that product. And then she's used an embossing folder on the back. And then the dots. How fun. The dots are pictured there as well. So thank you for swapping with me, Angela. And then this one is not quite as obvious that it is this suite of product. It's one of my favorite cards from my card swap. It opens this way. But what is in here that is part of this product suite is the butterfly border as well as the scallop border. Okay, so the butterfly is a stamp. And then, I don't know, it doesn't look like she fussy cut it, but I don't. Maybe that's the butterfly die. And then the scallop edge, which is there. So that's here as well. Isn't that pretty? And let's see who did that one. This one was done by Cindy Montana. I love how it opens. And I love her use of vellum behind the vase. That's very pretty. Thank you for swapping with me, Cindy. Okay, so we're on page 29. I'm going to flip back. Yes, I'm going backwards. I love it when a demonstrator can take this product and use it to make something that looks like this. Something so dramatically different from the pictures in the catalog. This sentiment is in the stamp set. It says, "Wherever this note finds you, I hope it finds you happy." Isn't that precious? So I love this demonstrator's use of this suite of product in a very different way. And this was done by Sarah Simone. So, and then the dies are the Sweet Words dies, Sweet Words and Labels dies. And they are in a suite of online exclusive product. So I'm going to put that one aside. We'll look at that one again in a bit. Okay. So now we're going to skip back over to page 31. This is the third and final scrapbooking workshop kit that is in this catalog. Again, there are 10 others online. And again, an Extraordinary Life bundle, different stamp set and dies here as well. So that's on page 30 and 31. Page 32 is the Velvet Meadow Suite. I'm going to point out that the Specialty Designer Series paper has texture and it feels like velvet. So I don't know if you can see the raised image here in your catalog or not, but it feels like velvet. So that's going to be fun. And then this is Velveteen Assorted Specialty paper. So that's something that might be overlooked in the catalog, as well as the Dreamy Flowers that give you accents for your projects. And I actually do have a sample again. Carol Slack took this suite of product in these colors and created her own image. She's used a embossing folder behind here that we will revisit later, as well as the dies from the online exclusive, but these floral images come directly from the Flowering Meadow stamp set and dies. So thank you for swapping with me. Okay. Then we'll look at page 34, Moonlit Flora. Moonlit Floral. No, I can't not say Flora. I want to say floral. So this uses the Fern embossing folder, which would be super easy to overlook here. And that is the embossing folder that Carol used back behind this image. But this was by far the most used suite of product in the swap that I participated in. So I have several samples using this suite of product. First is done by $1 Million Sales Achiever Karen Titus. And Karen did use the focal point as the designer series paper. Well, look how this unfolds. Isn't that pretty? So she's used half sheet of designer series paper here. And I love her use of the white that pulls out the white in this paper. And I love the use of soft sea foam. I never use that color. You Make the World a Better Place. Totally coordinates with this. Okay, and then this pulls out. The other thing that you might miss on the pages of this catalog is the dewdrops embellishments. And she's used the blue ones here. Thank you for swapping with me, Karen. Next is fellow demonstrator Michelle Hornbeck, and Michelle is one of my Kentucky demonstrator friends, and she's used the same Moonlit Flora suite of product as well as the Golden Glow ribbon. So pretty. So thankful for you is the sentiment on the inside of Michelle's card. Thank you for swapping with me, Michelle. And then last in this suite of product is a card created by Sue Miller. And Sue used the scalloped dies as well. And I love her use of white. This is a big, bold white image here. But it totally works with the moth as well as the flowers. And then it opens to soft sea foam again. Love the little snippet of paper down at the bottom. So thank you for making the world a better place. Okay, look at that tiny, tiny little butterfly. I pointed it out earlier. So pretty. So that is the Moonlit Flora suite of product, or suite of paper, suite of products. So we're going to go on over now to pages 36 through 42, and this is where all the bundles are shown. Now, you have seen bundles in the suite collection, multiple bundles in the suite collection. So some of those bundles will be pictured here as well. And then there are others in the bundle section too. So a few things to point out. Here's the suite collection icon again. And then here's the other icon that I wanted to make note of. This little splash and crisp cantaloupe that says new. These are impressions dies. Both sets of these are. So we have a new plate that's called the Impressions plate. And I'll bring that in here. It comes with specific instructions on using it. You follow those and you won't go wrong. And it's kind of just a little rubbery plate. It has the Stampin' Up logo here in the bottom corner. You can tell mine has already been well used. It is self-healing, so it's not going to not have cuts on it. And it's just kind of rubbery and flexible. And you get a great result with that. So I'm going to bring in the stamp set that I have. It's pictured on page 37. It's called Phrases and Frames. And it is a $1 Million Sales Achiever stamp set. This is Susan Campfield's $1 Million Sales Achiever stamp set. Beautiful sentiments and phrases and even things that you can use on the inside of the card in this one. And then the coordinating dies are called Impressions dies. So when they're pictured here in the catalog or bigger back on the dies page, let's go back there. It says page 58. So we'll see them a little bit bigger back here. So where are you? Here they are. Okay. So when you look at them here, there are 3 that are kind of shaded. And that shading is an indicator to you that those are impressions dies. It can be used with the new Impressions matte to get a little bit more detail when you use the die. So not only does it cut, it basically embosses at the same time. So I'm going to show you a few things created with that particular set. So I got to do a class at our retreat in March, and it was the end of March, so I already had the new ink colors and the paper. So the ladies that participated in that retreat got to use the Impressions matte. They got to use the Phrases and Frames bundle as well as the dies. So this one was Happiest Birthday. This one's Thinking of You. This one's Have a Fabulous Day. The Golden Glow. That's going to be so pretty at Christmas. Sending You Hugs is this one, and then Happy Anniversary was this one. And then we used the designer series paper to cover the envelope flaps. So we have a coordinating envelope for each of our cards. So that's a great use of that designer series paper. I also have a designer series paper share that I'll talk to you about in a little bit. But the focus of this is to show you the detail on, and I don't know that the camera's catching it. Maybe here, the extra detail that's on that die. And that can be achieved in a couple of ways, but for best results, they say to use our spritzer, which I can show you in a bit in the back pages of the catalog. So spritz your cardstock with a little bit of water prior to running it through the impressions mat for best results. So the other card that I have that showcases this suite of product uses the fern embossing folder as well as the impressions dies. So a couple of different ways here. This card uses a lot of different product. And I love that a demonstrator can take so many different suites of product and use it like this. This was created by Margaret, and I can't say Margaret's last name, but thank you for sharing with me, Margaret. I'm going to move that one over to the side. And then this one is the Opulent Oasis bundle here in the catalog. And that's one of the impressions dies as well. I don't know if you can see the texture on this floral image. It's so pretty. And again, the ribbon is used here as well. So that was created by fellow demonstrator, Chris Weddle. Thank you for swapping with me, Chris. Camera does not do this one justice. Okay, so we're going to continue on in the bundle section. So I've pointed out the suite icon. Let's go on over to page 39. And I'll point out gears and textures. You notice it does not have the cute little N for new. That means that it's been in a prior publication. So still a worthy product to take a look at. Fantastic interaction there with the gears. And then the balloon festoon bundle is one of my favorites in the catalog. And I'm going to point out all the samples at the top of the page as well. So in a catalog, it's more than a list of products that I sell. It's an idea book as well. There should be at least 2 samples of each stamp set that's featured in the pages of the catalog. So I do have a sample of balloon festoon. Let me see who did it. Kathy Johnson did this one. Love, love, love how she's covered the front of this card with balloons, and they're all in the new in colors. So thank you for swapping with me. Okay, so after balloon festoon, let's flip over to page 42. So we're going to skip a few pages, and we're going to look at the All Aflutter bundle that's down here in the corner. All Aflutter comes with a stamp set that has 2-step stamping options. So you can use your color here, and you can use the black outline here if you want to outline your images. And I love the little flight path. So cute. Love the font and Thinking of You Today. Also comes with a punch. I love a stamp set that coordinates with a punch. So much fun. So that is used in multiple ways. You've already seen it at least once on Margaret's card. And she didn't use black as an outline. She used tone on tone. And then this card is created by Shauna Alt. So she used multiple different colors of butterflies. I don't know if you can tell the sparkle that's on there or not. That's also designer series paper, fluttering by to say hi, and the ribbon. The ribbon ties easy. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to your project. And thank you for swapping with me. And then this is one of the cards that I got to create at the Demonstrator Only event in April using the All Aflutter stamp set and punch, as well as the shimmer paper. Can you see the shine on that? So pretty. Available in all 5 in colors in one pack. So that card design was by Elizabeth Belleville. Okay, so let's move All Aflutter off to the side. You can see all my junk and making quite a collection. Okay, next, oh my, something that we've been waiting on for a long time. Page 43 features the new Stampin' Positioner. And I am so excited to share this with you. If you joined my team or a team of demonstrators in February, you had the option to get the Stampin' Positioner free with your starter kit. That was a $49 value. But then it wasn't available again until today. So I'll show you the parts and pieces of the Stampin' Positioner. So this is the actual machine. So it is about the size of a catalog page, a little bit smaller than a catalog page. And it has the platform that you put your stamps on. That's clear acrylic. And then it has the magnets that come off easily. And if they attract together, they're covered. They're not going to break. But they have little tabs that you can easily pick them up. So the base is magnetic. And then it also comes separately grid paper if you want. So this is the actual base. So I wanted to cover it with grid paper. So it has these little pegs. And then you can just press down to create an image. Isn't that fun? It also comes with a smaller plate, and this is great for what I used to call, and I think it's still applicable, hinge step stamping. So you can attach it to those hinges, move it down, do it again. Of course, you're re-inking between each one, but you can make a whole line. You can do it on a card front, or it's open on 3 of the 4 sides. So you can do this, create a border on your 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper as well. So if you're interested, I am offering a Stampin' Positioner class. And I don't know about you. Have you ever purchased a product or a tool like this and then never really taken it out of the box when you got home with it? If that's the case for you, I am offering a Stampin' Positioner class. So we'll order that Stampin' Positioner for you. We probably ought to do that today. Maybe tomorrow would be okay. But it's $75, includes the Stampin' Positioner and the whole pack of grid paper. I don't know how many sheets are in here. 50, 100, I don't know. And there's no additional class fee. So when you come to class, I will teach you the features of your project, of your tool, the features of your tool. And then we will use it. We'll do 2-step stamping with it. We'll easily align an image that perhaps didn't stamp correctly the first time or clearly the first time. We're going to be able to stamp right back over the top of it because of the stamp positioning tool. And we'll create a repetitive pattern. And then we're also going to explore how you can use the Stampin' Positioner to have embossing powder in all of our colors. So if you'd like to join me for one of those classes, if you're local to the Paducah, Kentucky area, they are May 27th and 28th at 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. So let me know if you're interested in that, and we'll get your Stampin' Positioner ordered. Okay, so that was page 43, one of the most exciting pages in the catalog. Pages 44 through 56, just stamp sets. So this could be a stamp set that was part of a suite or a bundle, or it could be a stamp set that stands alone. This one, in fact, is a new stamp set that stands alone. This one was part of a bundle, and these others stand alone as well. Okay, so let me show you. This card was created with that giant Get Well stamp. So it's probably the size of the palm of my hand, if you want a reference. But this demonstrator has embossed it with white embossing powder. So elegant and fun, and it's all you need. Linda Pagel was the designer of this card. That's all you need on that card front with designer series paper. Thank you for swapping with me, Linda. Okay, so we saw page 44. Let's skip over to page 52. So lots of good content here. Did you know we had an alphabet stamp? So fun. So over on page 52, I wanted to point out the You're the Best stamp set. I think it is so adorable. The sentiment specifically. This one says, old people like to give cards, but we also put money in them. I love that one. And then this one is maybe from a grandchild. Thanks for letting me do all the things my parents said no to. That one is classic. I love it paired with the balloon festoon dies. So they have this concept artist has die cut balloons from designer series paper and stamped the sentiments right on top of the balloons. Love, love, love that. Okay. While I'm on this page, we're seeing all of Flutter a little bit larger. I'm going to bring in a card that we're doing in card class today and tomorrow here in Paducah. This is a card that I designed using the Olive Flutter stamp set. I used a little bit of vellum as well as the ribbon, fluttering by to say hi, as well as this fabulous embossing folder that you saw a little bit earlier. So that's another one of the cards that we're going to do in class. This afternoon, this evening, tomorrow morning, and tomorrow evening. So let's see. Connected Together is a $1 Million Sales Achiever. And this one belongs to Wendy Knowles. So she created that stamp set as a perk for selling $1 million in product. So how exciting would that be to see your own stamp set featured in one of the catalogs? And then just to point out that it's an idea book as well, look how the concept artist has taken white baker's twine and ink and a sponge dauber and made hydrangea hue baker's twine. So definitely an idea book as well. Page 54, I just wanted to point out the family celebration stamp set and all of the opportunities that you have to celebrate the people in your family. Take a close look at that one. And then on page 56, I wanted to point out the Thanks Man stamp set. So if you struggle with making masculine cards, here's a couple of opportunities for you. And the word man, I think, has evolved over time into dude. I think that was my generation. Bro, bruh. So lots of different opportunities to thank the men in your life or to reach out to them with a birthday or congrats. Then page 57 features our die cutting and embossing machines, both the regular size machine as well as the mini, and features that beautiful furred embossing folder a little bit larger here. Ask me if you're interested in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. You can cut with these using our dies. You can emboss with them. We have hybrid embossing folders that emboss and cut at the same time. I've already showcased the impressions mat that you can use with these machines. Very versatile machines and worth the investment. The large machine is $140. That does have a 3-year warranty with Stampin' Up, and you have me to ask questions. So if you're interested in that, let me know. My recommendation, the mini machine is $69. It's less expensive, but if you're going to use any of these fabulous embossing folders, I would definitely recommend making the investment in the regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine versus the mini machine, because when you purchase the mini machine, you are forever going to be wondering, will this fit through the mini? Like a lot of our dies do, and it's a great little machine to take with you when you're traveling or going to a crop or something. But I love the features of the regular size machine. Pages 58 through 60 are our dies. Again, I'm going to point out that impressions icon so that you can see these new impressions dies a little bit bigger. You know these dies belong to a suite or a bundle because of the little icons that you can see here on the pages. And then on page 60, I want to point out the amazing basic dies all the way across the bottom of this page. I specifically recommend the Stylish Shapes dies if someone's starting out new. You have the squares, the circles, and the banners, but all 4 of these sets of dies are amazing basic dies. I love that they're pictured here in our catalog. Page 61 features embossing folders and punches. This is not our entire collection of embossing folders and punches. Please know that there are other options online. These are just the 2 newest. This one is called Story Keeping Hybrid Embossing folder, and it has the embossing folder as well as a die that, or dies that you can cut these words and images out. I need to do a little bit more research. I didn't see that in anywhere else in the catalog. So I need to do a little bit more research to know when and where to use that. But I think for memory keeping, it would be fantastic because it has some memory keeping type sentiments in there. Instead of a stamp set, it's going to be an embossed image. More punches definitely available online if you're interested in punches. I love a good punch. Next, pages 63 through 65 is our designer series paper area. And this is where I'll talk to you about my designer series paper share. So with the new designer series paper in a catalog, I often offer the opportunity for my customers to participate in a product share. And that simply means that I order all of the designer series paper featured on pages 63, 64, and 65, and I divide them up between customers. So you get 1/4 of a pack of paper and of all of them. And that way you have a variety of paper from the new catalog to work with. The cost for local delivery or pickup is $40, and you get 144 sheets of paper. If you did nothing but make card fronts with that, like I showed you on these examples, if you just use it as a card front, you can make 156 card fronts from that designer series paper share. If you'd like to participate in the paper share and I can mail it to your home, the cost for shipping is $50. And the papers predominantly are cut 12 inches by 6 inches. That way you can get more card fronts out of those paper sheets. And if you want to use them for memory keeping, you can do that, especially for borders. In your memory keeping. There's only one pack of paper that's in this catalog that's already 6 inches by 6 inches. So keep that in mind, $40 to participate in my designer series paper share if you would like to do that. And that designer series paper share includes the papers on pages 63, 64, and 65. So I'm going to showcase this demonstrator. Her name is Tammy, and she created this card using the paper pictured here. This is called Artisan Sketched, and I've ordered that paper and I haven't received it yet. So she simply added a little bit of color to the black and white imagery that is pictured here. And then the polka dots is also part of this. And it opens up with one of the fabulous phrases and frames, interior sentiments to go with that happy anniversary. So thank you for swapping with me, Tammy. This is a great time to bring this card back in because this also uses the designer series paper here as well as the stripes. And then this is cut from, I think it's this piece. It's cut from this piece. Okay. That's a good time to bring that one back in. And that's also a great time to show off Jan Shore's card. Jan uses the fabulous online exclusive dies, but she creates this set, this precious card with that. So she's used a die right over the top and used designer series paper on the inside of her card. I think that's creative. So you're wondering, where do you write on this one, right? So she has a place here on the back. You're a blessing to me that she can write on that. And then more designer series paper back here. So thank you for swapping with me, Jan. Okay, so let's see. We've seen, I don't think we've seen the paper medley in action. But we have seen Artisan Sketched. We've seen Waterside Retreat, that cute little card that Emily Kimmy designed earlier in the live video here. The Beautiful and Ordinary Life of Shelley Gardner's favorite. That was showcased by Angela Waters out of Nashville. And if you'll notice, these 3 suites are the 3 that have memory keeping options accompanying them. So those 3 suites, if you choose, you can purchase the paper here with this paper only icon or item number. But if you want the paper and sticker sheet, you purchase this with this item number. So that gives you this additional sticker sheet that you can use for memory keeping or card making. This is our 6x6 paper. This one has the velveteen accents. This was by far the most popular suite. Next, I told you I would point out the white paper that was featured in the Lily of the Valley suite. That is here. It does have double-sided designs, and it says white foil on it. So I bet you could do some emboss resist on that and add some color to it if you wanted to. So we are on page 66, and I'm going to show you the Painted Patterns Designer Series paper in the brights colors that's pictured here. In hindsight, maybe I should have shown you a different color. But I don't think the pictures in the catalog do the dots justice. So this one is pumpkin pie with the stripes, azure afternoon and the stripes. This one is poppy parade, I believe. Love how they've got some white on the side. This one's lemon lime twist, followed closely behind with granny apple green. Do you have a favorite lemon lime or granny apple? Flirty flamingo, dots and stripes, daffodil delight, dots and stripes. This one is berry burst, I believe. Oh, melon mambo. That one's melon mambo. That's a good standard pink. Coastal cabana. Nope. Yep, maybe. And then, goodness, I've lost track. I don't even know. Let's see. It's going to bother me if I don't tell you, so I'm going to tell you. That was Coastal Cabana earlier. Berry Burst. Yes, I tried to say Berry Burst earlier. So, with the dots and stripes on this side, you also have dots and stripes on the other side. Okay, so these dots are a little bit larger. So fun. And then the stripes don't go all the way to the edge of the paper, so they kind of look like you've painted. Isn't that fun? So you can purchase this in each of our color families. So there's 20 sheets in a pack for $19. There's 10 each of 2 double-sided designs. So in each color. I also have it in the in colors. So I'm just going to flip these out here just to show you. And then we'll flip over to see the other side. And then I'm going to show you a card that I created. This is the card that I created for the swap that has yielded all of these samples for you. And I used the phrases and frames as well as the impressions mat and contour dies. And then I used one of each of the 4 pieces of paper on my card front. This is me, monochromatic, square, flat. So that's my Stampin' style. So that's why you have all of these wonderful cards that I swapped with other demonstrators so that you could see a style other than mine. Okay, so where should we go next? Page 67, I'm going to point out just a few things that you might overlook. We do have watercolor paper. This is where you would find your foils and your window sheets if you're interested in creating a shaker card. And then don't miss the pearlized specialty paper down here that I showed you with this card. I really don't, yeah, I think you can see the shimmer. So pretty, so pretty. So those are pages 67. So let's do 68 and 69 begins the mix and match area of our catalog. And this is simply ways to use the product that is sold on page 70. And then page 71 starts memory keeping and the basic supplies. So flip flaps, that's one of the things that we offer now. Sorry, if you could see what I'm doing in here. I'm dropping things. So they come in 3x3 and they come in 4x4. So those are square. And then when you purchase the flip flaps in 3x4 or 4x6, half of the pack of flip flaps has the adhesive on the 3-inch side. And half of the pack of flip flaps has the adhesive on the 4-inch side. That way you can use them landscape or portrait. So that's with the 3x4 and the 4x6. So in my card class last month, we used the 3x3 flip flaps and the adhesive, and we used the Help You Grow suite of products to create these wonderful gardening tools. I think this little greenery kind of looks like tomato leaves. Let me know what you think about that. But we created the gardening tools, and then on the inside, we used a little flip flap to create a pocket with flower seeds. So that was one of our cards in my April card class using the Help You Grow suite of product. If you're interested in that one, let me know. I can share the product that you need to create that card on your own. Next, I've grabbed several little products to share with you on the memory keeping page. We have new basic black hybrid ink, and it is in an ink pad that's a little bit different than we're accustomed to because this ink evaporates. So it needs to be in an ink pad that is sealed really tightly. So several people have had trouble getting this open, but I really think if you just open it from the side, that it opens fairly easily. And it is more of a felt ink pad than the foam that we've had in the past. So just put it back together. It's not magnetic. You do need to be sure that it seals, but just open it from the side. You're kind of pulling apart with your thumbs. And it opens fairly easily. So that's our new basic black ink, if you're interested in that. Next up is the black journaling pen. So I don't know if you've tried our journaling pens or not. They come in packs of 3, and they are a 0.4 millimeter, so smooth to write with. I think you'd love them. So those are our journaling pens if you haven't seen those in the catalog before. Then next up is a 2-pack of white gel pens. And I know we've had white gel pens before, and you've probably had multiple white gel pens in your life, but I have never had one that writes this smoothly or this nicely on darker cardstock. It's more like writing with a ballpoint pen. So not something to overlook. You could share one of these with a friend. So those are the items that I don't want you to miss on page 71. So let's look at page 72 and the embellishments. This might be where you find your new true love in the embellishments area. The in-color dots are worthy of looking at. They are pictured at the bottom of page 72. You get 120 of these adhesive back embellishments in that pack. And then this is the only ribbon that's pictured in the catalog. It's the bordered ribbon, and it does have a little shiny border on it that is available in all 5 of the new in colors. This one's hydrangea hue, and you've seen it used. Actually, you've seen the ribbon used on several projects. This one has a big bow. I used it just with a knot here on this project. So you've seen it used on several of the projects throughout this tour. So you take a close look at the embellishments on page 72 when you go back through your catalog. And next we're going to look at adhesives on page 73. I love the way Stampin' Up! Has given you not only pictures of the adhesive, but they've given you what adhesive is best for your project. Little icons down here at the bottom of the page. So let's take a look at, for example, mini glue dots. The mini glue dots are good for cardstock and paper. They're good to attach ribbon. You can use them for embellishments, and you can use them for die cuts. So that's how you use the little icons here. So one of the adhesives that I like to point out, and I've pointed out more recently, I think it's kind of overlooked, is the adhesive sheets. You get 12 6x12 sheets that are called adhesive sheets in a pack. And then this creates a sticker out of anything. So you can put this on your cardstock or your designer series paper. You can then punch with it and run it through the die cutting machine, and whatever you end up with has an adhesive back. So you can remove this backing from your die cut or punched image and then stick it directly onto your project. So those are our adhesive sheets. Let me know if that's something that you're seeing in the catalog for the first time. Perhaps you've overlooked it. Pages 74 through 77 are our tools and our inks, and just a few things to point out here. I've shown you the impressions mat. This is where you can see it and find the item number and the price a little bit larger. The Stampin' Positioner is also pictured here on page 75, as well as the Stampin' Positioner grid paper. You get both of those in my product-based class at the end of May, but we need to place that order now if you're interested in that. This is probably something you've never seen in the catalog, although it's been around for a while. It's the Stampin' Glass Mat Studio. So not only do you get a glass mat, you get a couple of different things where you can mix ink and use for all sorts of different projects in your studio. So the glass mat is pictured there. And then the new grid paper is a different size. It's a little bit bigger than the grid paper that we've used in the past. And I love using the grid paper on my horizontal surface. Not only does it protect my surface when I'm stamping, you can practice what you're doing before you stamp directly onto your cardstock. So you can see if you've inked correctly, all sorts of things. It even has measuring tools, so you don't have to have a ruler in your stamping area necessarily. Then we're going to skip over to page 76. I mentioned our Stampin' Spritzers before, that you need to spritz your paper just a little bit before using the impressions mat and those impressions dies. So that's where you find the Stampin' Spritzer. Another thing that I think is overlooked, and I'm not sure why it's on this particular page, except that it goes with these products, is our masking paper. So our masking paper is 5x7 and it comes 12 sheets in here, and you can use this to mask an area that you don't want to have ink or a stamped image. So they just use strips of the masking paper here, and then probably the blending brushes to add ink to their cardstock, and then you peel off the masking paper and that leaves those stripes. So underneath the masking paper is going to be the color that the cardstock was before you started your project. So I think masking paper is also a product that is overlooked often in our catalogs. So the other thing that I don't think is pictured anywhere else in the catalog, and I could be wrong, but it's the water and dotted lines decorative masks. So if you look those up on my website, you're going to see ways to use those super cute techniques with those. Then page 77, Wink of Stella is always worthy of pointing out. Wink of Stella is not a new product at all, but I love pointing it out because it does add a little bit of shimmer to your projects, and super easy. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's fun to add to the petals of flowers specifically, maybe to snowflakes, anything that would have a little bit of glimmer. So Wink of Stella is on page 77. And then the other thing on page 77 that is worthy of pointing out is the 5 in color shimmer brushes. So I happen to have the Barely There, no, Barely There's not right, Barely Blush shimmer pen. I don't think I'm supposed to unscrew that. I think I just pull it off. And this will add just, okay, so we don't want to smear the ink. So let's do it off the ink. So that's the journaling pen. That's not actually an ink that we've stamped with. So you can use the shimmer brushes over our stamped ink, just not the journaling pen. So that adds not only color, but a little bit of shimmer. So I have, at least I thought I did, have a sample of, I do, hang on. I have a sample of each of those. And then you can also flick color onto your project. Can you see the little specks of color? So you can squeeze more ink down into your brush by squeezing where it says to push. And then you can use just your hand and flick it onto your hand and then onto your project. So I used the Hydrangea Hue on this one. So a couple things that I didn't want you to miss there in the catalog. So next we'll go on to page 79, and 79 is a great example of the new in colors and a good place to see what an in color club would look like. So I'm going to pull over some things that would be in an in color club. So I have two options actually. I have what I call just the basics. So just the basics includes the cardstock, the ink pad, the ink refill, the ribbon, and the designer series paper, as well as the in color dots. So just the basics. So how this works is each month, May through September, you choose one of the basic in colors, and then you get all of those products in that in color. So let's, for example, for the month of May, let's say you pick Hydrangea Hue, which is what I have pictured here. You would get the 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You would get the ink pad, the ink refill, the ribbon, the in-color dots, as well as shipping and handling for $63.55. Then June would be less expensive because you're just getting the basics in the color family. Then in July, you would get the 12 by 12 designer series paper. So I showed you that earlier. It's the pretty pattern paper. August and September would be the same price as June because you're just getting the basics. So then if you wanted to do the I Want It All, you would get all of those things. In addition, you would get the 2 Stampin' blends for each of your in colors. You have a light and a dark. These are our alcohol-based markers that you can color with. And then you would also get the 2-tone cardstock in each of the 12 colors if you're interested in that. So that's the I Want It All. So the lowest price on that would be $77.33 and the highest would be $98.83. So if you're interested in the In Color Club, reach out to me. I would love to get you signed up for that and get these products in your hands so that you can start creating with them. So that's what an In Color Club looks like. Questions, drop them in the comments for me. And then while we're on this page, down in the bottom right corner, it says, oh, snap. So I want you to see the new ink pads. And I'm going to grab an old ink pad. Hang on. So this is one of our current ink pads, and it opens like a compact, and probably my daughter's age and younger doesn't even know what a compact is, but the ink is stored in a way that it's at the top of the ink pad, or the ink is at the top of the pad when you're ready to use it. You slide it in and lock it, and then you're ready to use it. When it's time to put it away, put your thumb in, push with your finger to unlock, and then you flip it back over and snap it shut. So that's our classic ink pad currently. We have decided to move forward with a new ink pad design, and our 5 in colors have that design this year. And in 2027, all of our inks will be available in the new ink pad. So you saw what I went through to open this one. So open it, slide it, lock it, unlock it, slide it, snap it shut. Okay, check this out. This is the new magnetic ink pad. Open, close, open, close. How easy is that, right? It's a little bit different size, so it's not quite as wide. It's a little bit longer. So if you have a storage solution you're using now, you might need to alter that a little bit. Mine, because it's more narrow, my pad fits in my same storage solution. It's not really any thicker. But look, magnetic, open and close. Isn't that wonderful? It is also a felt ink pad. So that is a change from our firm foam ink pad for a multitude of reasons. This ink pad is a little bit more expensive, primarily because of the magnets, but also this ink pad holds twice as much ink as our foam ink pad holds. I think you're going to love it. They are magnetic, which means they will stack. So this is all 5 ink pads stacked together. Okay, so I wanted you to see that. And I'm going to keep these on camera for a reason. I'm going to move this one away. So I've talked about the magnetic ink pad. So let's go on over to pages 80 and 81. And this is our color collections area. And this is where you'll find the basic components of all of our color collections, whether it's cardstock, two-tone cardstock, ink pads, ink refills, or our Stampin' Blends alcohol-based markers. This is where you're going to find all of the item numbers that you need for each of those products. And then page 82, well, let's talk about page 81 first. Page 81, the ink colors are down here at the bottom. This is the only area that has the new magnetic ink pad. They are $14, primarily because of the magnets as well as the double quantity of ink that's in the ink pad. And then our standard ink pads are $11. All of our colors will be available in the new magnetic ink pads next year. So then we'll look at page 82, and this is where you'll find all of our collections and some of your basics, like your white cardstock. So if you want to purchase an entire color family of product, you can get a 10% discount by doing that. The 10% discount icon is not back here anywhere. So know that that is how this is going to work. For example, in a classic Stampin' Pad bundle, let's say you're going to buy the Brights, you're going to use this item number, it's going to be $99, but they're $11 each and you're getting 10 of them. So instead of $110, you're getting them for $99. So you're basically buying 9 and getting 1 free. It's the same with all of these products. Well, I guess not all, not the paper, but with the ink pads and the ink refills, you do get a discount on those. And then the 5 in-color ink pads are $63, and that is discounted 10% when you purchase them together. Okay, so pages 83 through 85 is a fantastic index. The font is larger, the ink is black instead of gray. I've loved using the index already. Between the index and the table of contents, it's going to be super easy to find what you need in the catalog. Then page 87 is one that I want to focus on. It's just kind of an area where you can say, what does a demonstrator do? What can I do? How can I join that community? So during the month of May, there is a starter kit promotion, and I would love to have you join my team. There are 32 of us, and you can be as actively involved in our team as you'd like. And I like to meet you where you are. If you want to work Stampin' Up as a business, I'm here for you. If you'd like to be your own and only best customer, I'm here for you for that as well. But during the month of May, if your wish list is lengthy and you'd like to save 20% on your purchases while earning 10% in Stampin' rewards to use on future purchases, consider purchasing the starter kit. You can select $125 in product of your choice and spend $99 plus tax. Shipping is free. And then you get all 5 of the new in-color magnetic ink pads free. That's a $63 added value. So you're getting $188 in product for $99 plus tax. If you're not interested in owning the ink pads, that's okay too. You can choose to add an additional $35 in product. So what you would do is you would get $160 in product of your choice and spend $99 plus tax. Shipping is free. So let me know if that's something that you would be interested in doing, because I would love to have you on my team. We call ourselves Sweet Amy Stampin' Sisters because Amy's Stampin' Sisters had an unfortunate acronym. So we're sweet and we're sassy. So thank you so much for spending a portion of your time with me learning about the new 2026 May to August catalog by Stampin' Up. Let me know if I can help you with an order, or you're always welcome to visit my website to place an order, look at my class offerings, or to join my team. Questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.